We- I think we are live. So, hi, Alex. How
Nice.
are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling really under pressure. Like I'm really, I'm really like in the thick of it in terms of cravings and the kind of the emotional roller coasters. Yeah, like
Yeah,
the suffering. I don't know if it's peaked yet, but it's certainly on the ascent.
yeah,
Oops, sorry.
that's to be expected. That echoed in my head. So, this is week 2 out of the 26 we're going to do on YouTube. And if anyone is watching and haven't been here before, what we're doing is that we're just doing some live coaching. Alex is trying to get off the carbs and do a carnivore diet. And I have also promised him that he gets to make one bad joke every week. Do you have something for
Yeah, joke this week is
it?
okay. So, why couldn't the midget afford to feed her children?
Mm. Do you want to answer that?
Okay. Yeah, because she was on minimum wage.
Yes. Well, I have one back.
Okay,
So,
go for it.
what do you call a fish wearing a bow tie?
Tell me.
Sophisticated.
Very good. Okay, I like it.
Very
Um,
good.
I mean, my joke was better. My joke was good structural.
Of course it was. Right. Okay. So, shall we get to the more serious stuff? Or we can sit here and make bad jokes. So, you wanted to report your weight every week, I think you said last time.
Yeah,
So initially it was 300 pounds. Last week it was 293, and
that's
now
right.
it is
287.
see. That's a good weight loss. I mean, it's good. It's roughly 1 pound per week. That's probably where you want to be.
No, it's not. It's not £1 per week.
Be
It's
proud of
it's just
yourself.
under £1 per day.
Oh, yes, I meant that. Of course.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah,
So
13
that's
£13 in 2 weeks.
yeah. So that's really good.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Is
Okay.
it
Is
not?
there a bit of a delay?
Blame someone who's moving his whole hard drive to an online thing and is probably uploading a lot of files right now.
Okay. Yeah, there appears to be a bit of a delay. Okay, so we'll have to do like World War II communication. So
Yeah.
over and then wait for the other person.
Yeah. Right. So tell me, how many cravings have you had this week? Because I asked you to write down your cravings and how that feels in your body, what your thoughts were, and maybe any observations that you had, any specific ones, how long it took, etc.
Uh, I've
Over.
certainly had over. I've certainly had one craving a day. It's just that they have varied in their
Oh,
severity and their duration, and of course, um, I've had a I've suffered with varying um, degrees of ability to cope with them and to um, sometimes I have been able to remember your strategy of riding the wave and leaning into the craving and just trying to let it wash over me. But sometimes, on a couple of occasions, the craving got so bad and was accompanied by a very strong sense of depression and melancholy, and the quality of my thoughts really deteriorated. And that's when I'm in the danger zone. That's when I start getting very close to rationalizing giving up. And yeah, on those occasions, I had like a little emergency diet drink just to give my sweet receptors some stimulation, but without the blood glucose consequences. Um, was a bit. I know that there. I know that sweetness can have an effect on blood glucose, but I chose the lesser of two evils, and it didn't seem to affect my weight loss. And I didn't go overboard. I didn't have like four, five, six cans of anything, but just yeah, there were a couple of occasions where I had like Diet Coke and Coke Zero to take the edge off. Um, and I suppose I'm glad I did it because I really was um, I really was suffering, and I was at the like the limit of uh, of my own negativity, and I just yeah the Diet Coke just helped to calm the waters down a bit.
Mhm.
But yeah,
So how
I made
many times did this happen? Twice?
yeah 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 it was last Thursday
Okay.
and then yesterday. But yeah, yesterday was pretty bad. I didn't just have Coke. I also made myself like a keto chocolate dessert. So I got some diabetic chocolate with polyols, mixed it with butter and eggs, and then just like was just yeah eating tablespoons of this kind of chocolate dessert, trying to comfort myself, and then gave myself diarrhea as polyols frequently do.
Excellent. Right. Okay. So let's take yesterday because that sounds like I don't know if that was the situation was worse yesterday, like the situation, the craving situation, or if you were just like, oh my God, here we go again, and one Coke wasn't enough, so I need something else. But what was going through your head when you had this craving yesterday, and how did that feel?
I know exactly what was. It wasn't just what was going on in my head. It was what was. It was the whole shape of the day. There are some days where
Okay.
I wake up on the wrong side of the bed, as is often the case with depression. I woke up and I felt very deflated, and my mindset was very much how it is when I know at the point of waking that I'm going to dedicate the whole day to the addiction, to binging, and so I had that feeling, that instinct to want to just give up and not make the best of my day, not do anything with my time, and just make everything revolve around food. But I couldn't. I still had the strength in me to avoid it, but I I ended up sort of channeling some of that binging compulsive energy into yeah like drinking diet drinks, making chocolate dessert. um, so I guess in a sense like I was engaging in some compulsive behaviors, but I took the chemical route that eliminates most of the consequence for that. So I suppose you could say that yesterday I did give in to my cravings, but I kind of I justified it by saying it's sugar free. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
I was compulsive.
But I mean, obviously, this is not an ideal behavior, and we want to get rid of that. But I see that as a step in the right direction because you're moving towards what you want to do. And it wasn't a full day binge. So, from where you are actually coming from, I think you have done well. But I want to just keep exploring this mindset that you said you're waking up on the wrong side of the bed and you just have this mindset that you're going to dedicate the whole day to binging or eating everything around food. So,
Yeah,
I would like to kind of explore that a little bit because that is I have a feeling that that might become a problem.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a form of
So,
behavior that it escalates.
yeah. So, what is actually happening when you wake up? What is the first thing that is happening? Is it do you wake up and you are tired, or what would you say the trigger is in this situation? How do you know that you're waking up on the wrong side?
Um, well, definitely on the days when I don't have work. So my days off are more dangerous
Right?
than my work days, and it's when I don't have a plan. It's when I don't know, when I haven't planned the night before, what my objectives for the next day are. It's essentially, it's part of a set of habits and a mindset that I've developed over the last 20 years. It's um, yeah, I suppose it's like, um, it's the inevitable consequence of not having a plan. Like, I'll speak to someone on the phone and they'll
Okay.
say, "What is your plan today?" And then it'll make me really uncomfortable, and it'll make me suddenly realize, like, nothing. I have no vision for today, no objective, not even anything simple like doing laundry or domestic chores. Just um, I think, yeah, I've basically developed, I've developed a very profligate, uh, like, behavior with time and life itself. Like, I squander my life, and um, the the sort of the existential vacuum that's created at the beginning of a day when one knows that one is going to intentionally squander the day, that always marries perfectly with addiction, with binging. They go hand in hand. So I think, I've I got the intention uh, to break the addiction, but on a day like yesterday when I woke up after working a lot on the weekend and being tired and um, wanting a day of rest, but kind of having that guilty sense, like I should have at least had some outline of a few things I was going to do with my time. Even pleasurable, leisurely things. I had, I just had no vision, which is often the case. And yeah, I want to remove the addiction, but I'm starting to see now that that there are consequences for, for having no plan, no vision, no intentions, and just sort of waking up and feeling quite empty and deflated, and resigning myself to it.
Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? So I have nothing to do. What should I fill my time with? I know, something that makes me feel good, something that makes me survive better. So if it is as simple as just having a plan, then we can make a plan. But don't think it's that simple. You also mentioned that when you're talking to other people and they ask, "What have you got planned for today?" and you said they make me feel guilty, then I just want to point out that they don't make you feel anything. That's that's your thoughts about what they're saying that is making you feel guilty.
Well, not that we're in a court of law or anything, but I didn't say the words "they make me feel guilty." But the question does make me feel guilty because, and ashamed, because um, because it it confronts. I'm the question, um, makes me confronted by the fact that I've given up on myself as a person, and that I just, I intentionally waste my days. And I prefer it when people don't ask me that question, so I don't have to even think in my head something so embarrassing and discouraging and demoralizing. Like, I was talking to this girl that, I've been getting to know, and she's very curious about my life, and she said, "What's your plan for today?" And I was just sort of stuck. I didn't want to lie. I didn't want to fabricate, "Oh, I'm going to do this and this and go here and go there." And and be something I'm not. So I just sort of looked at her and went, nothing, I guess. And then I sort of justified it by saying, "Oh, it's my day off," you know. But it's not true. I knew, um, I could feel that dissatisfaction with myself, that shame of yeah, not having even thought to have a vision for the day. Like I'm slowly coming to terms with what addiction has done to me, and what I've done to myself as well, which is um, it's actually rendered my life quite uneventful and quite boring, and it's made me blind and ignorant um, to my immediate surroundings and all of the things that are all of the resources available to me. Like, I've lived in Bristol now for 22 years, and there are so many things I could have done, places I could have gone, museums, art exhibitions, concerts, you know, all sorts of things. And um, I have this strong appreciation for these things, but I kind of have to be at home consuming them, you know, on the internet in a safe, comfortable place. But yeah, sort of going out and stretching my legs and having experiences has gradually over time has declined as the addiction has taken over. And I think that question really rubs in my face what I have allowed myself to become, which is quite destitute um, in my imagination for how I'm going to spend my days. Like, I have imagination artistically and in other contexts, but I have eroded my own sense of joy and imagination that is connected to my yeah, my desire to go out there and experience life. Like, that's the thing, that's probably the thing I hate the most about addiction, is it just completely takes over. And it's made my life really fucking boring. So when this girl says, "What are your plans today?" I just feel so boring. And then of course uh the self-loathing, the worthlessness um comes, you know, as a consequence.
Yeah, so someone asks you, what have you got planned for today? And it has nothing to do with what they are thinking about you. It has all about what you are thinking about you. So that's the self-loathing that you bring up again, that I know we were talking about, talking a lot about your last year, and everything that you just described, like how the addiction has made you not do these things or not enjoy them, not wanting to go outside of your comfort zone and just stay in the addiction. And all that is, I mean, that is normal. That is normal for any. Very, very easy to just go to the food and stay in the safety zone and not do anything. So your perception is just that this has been going on for a very, very long time, and it has gotten worse. And usually it gets worse because when you choose to not do something, people notice, and eventually they're not gonna even ask you because they don't think that you want to do it. So it's not like you are deeper into this avoiding to do things. It's just that it doesn't happen because you're not putting yourself in those situations where you even get invited or get the suggestion that maybe you should do these things. So when you say that, I prefer that people don't ask this question because it makes me feel uncomfortable. It's the same thing as when you would say, please don't put a cake in front of me because that makes me feel uncomfortable.
Mhm.
You just have to deal with your feelings that are coming up.
Well, it goes beyond
There's
that
no
as well.
difference. It's just a different feeling.
It goes beyond that as
Go on.
well. Like, a couple of years ago, a good friend of mine introduced me to his girlfriend, who is a composer, and I've got a strong affinity and appreciation for classical music and composition. And she and I really hit it off, and started to develop um, a lovely little friendship on the side. And she, being in the music industry, is offered tickets to go to all of these concerts here, there, and everywhere. And yeah, she invited me to go to the Colston Hall to see this like wonderful Beethoven concert, and I had been binging really hard for about 2 or 3 days consecutively, and there comes a point where um, it just ruins me. My anxiety was through the roof, depression through the roof. Um, I wasn't dressing myself. I wasn't washing myself. I was in a really bad state. Like my flat was just uh, in a state of hell, as Jordan Peterson would say. And like it was time to go and meet her to go to the concert, and I just could not bring myself to do it. Like I had this feeling, which was a cocktail of anxiety, exhaustion, embarrassment, self-loathing, numbness, and I stood her up. Like she was there waiting for me, and she was like texting me, we're supposed to go in, and I sent her a message like, oh, I just can't. Like I'm in a really bad way, and the discourtesy of that, the self-indulgence of that, of like standing her up and then sending her that vague message, sort of cost me my friendship with her, because it was very much just starting to develop. It was in that stage where you can't really take many liberties with someone because it's early days, and it's still first impressions, and of course I was too like embarrassed and ashamed to send her a follow-up apology going into detail like I'm an addict and I've been binging a lot and I haven't been treating myself well, and I've become dysfunctional. So like we just became sort of alienated from one another, and I continued to see my friend, but his girlfriend was, I don't know, like we'd taken several steps forward, and then those steps were undone, and these sorts of opportunities, these sort of interpersonal opportunities, are always the first thing to be sabotaged and eroded by my addiction. And yeah, like uh, I can think of thousands of opportunities which collectively would shape what anyone would call, a life. But yeah, for that, much under the same circumstances, I've just abstained from taking all of these opportunities. So that there are many ways to define ruin in the context of addiction, but for me, that's how I define it. It's like it's thousands upon thousands of unexperienced opportunities. So yeah, it's like it is a sore
Okay.
spot. Like when
So,
yeah.
what are you going to do the next time you have an opportunity?
What depends on the opportunity. It depends on the nature of the opportunity, I guess. I don't know. I
Okay.
honestly, I don't know what. The answer is I don't know. I don't know what to anticipate um, in myself, because
So if this happened again, let's take her as an example. Someone says, "Let's go to this concert. I got tickets." You say yes because you're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this time." Are you gonna go?
sure, yeah,
Why do you think
actually.
that you would go this time, but not last time? What's the difference?
Well, the difference is that these days my life is more together, and my will, my access to my will, is unimpeded by the presence of sugar. So there isn't that block there. Um, there isn't
Okay.
that feeling of being poisoned.
And what I want to get to is now I'm just a coach. So obviously, if it's like a true clinical depression, I am not qualified to do any work on that. So I can't really, talk to how you were feeling at the time and if that was the case and maybe you needed some more professional help at the time. But what I can say is that whether you have depression or not, it's always down to what you are thinking. So you can always choose to think thoughts that will make you appreciate the opportunity and that will make you feel good about going. Or you can move on to thoughts that makes you feel really uncomfortable doing it. And I don't know what was going through your head. Maybe it was like, oh my God, I can't do this because of ABC and I just want to hide and I just want to eat because this is really scary for whatever reason. So when you can take control of what your brain is doing, you can always choose what you want to do. And when we choose to actually take those opportunities, things are happening. Like I can't really I'm such an introvert that I will avoid almost anything that it means that I have to enjoy one-on-one conversations mostly. I don't necessarily enjoy being in large groups or anything. But if I never did that, I would have missed out on a lot of opportunities that I have had in my life because pretty much everything that we do comes down, or everything that is pleasurable, I guess, comes down to connection with other people. So even today, I have to kind of have this. I have a huge list of excuses for why I should not go and do X, Y, Z. And I just have to say, okay, cool, I'm going to do it anyway. This is just 5 hours of my life. And tomorrow I can sit at home and watch Netflix. It's okay. And then I just do it. What do you think about that?
Um, well, I don't have a clear definition in my mind of what it is I enjoy and what it is I don't enjoy. In the sense that I don't need to make um, a contract with myself, like an agreement with myself, to do something which is taxing, which goes against my instincts, in exchange for certain freedoms. The truth is, I don't really know what it is I like or who I am really. That those lines have become sort of quite blurry. And
But you know what?
yeah,
You can just actually try things. The more things you try, the more you're going to figure out what you like.
mhm.
So, what if you just tell yourself that whenever an opportunity comes up to do something new, I'm going to jump on that opportunity?
Well, I know that historically, um, I have um, like I talked about, addiction ruining opportunities, but the number one reason why I have abstained from experiences is because of my weight and my appearance. Like, I haven't been abroad for over 10 years. I've been stuck in the UK for 10 years. Like, I could have gone traveling, I could have gone on holiday, all sorts, but I wouldn't permit myself to do so until I'd sorted my weight problem out. I just detested the idea of traveling as an obese man. The, just the discomfort of it, the shame, the embarrassment, the way it would affect my confidence when socializing, and what's happened is, like,
Do
for
you
the last
see
10
how
years.
all of this always comes back to you feeling the same thing? No matter what situation we're talking about, you're always coming back to you feeling shame about you and you putting yourself down. And all of these situations or perceived situations or situations you don't want to put yourself in all has to do with that you don't want to feel the shame of your body or yourself or what you choose to do or what it is. It all comes back to that one thing.
Well, I feel the shame of it every day. What I'm frightened of is the shame and the discomfort, like, um, getting out of control, like, um, being unbearably elevated in certain situations. Um, so yeah, I've told myself every year for the last 10 years that I'm going to resolve my weight issue and then I'll be ready to live life. I've basically put my life on hold because of my appearance and because of my um, the way it affects my confidence.
I want to flip that around. What if you live your life and then you lose your weight?
Um, well, well, that's very frightening, extremely frightening. Um, I mean, those words and the whole sentiment and the essence of those words um, produces an immediate feeling of conflict inside me because those are words of encouragement and positivity. And inside me, I just have, like, yeah, a lot of hatred, a lot of fear. So um, the I'm not saying this is right, but I'm just being honest. What is my response to that suggestion? My immediate response is just no way. I fucking hate that. I hate the whole idea of it. Like, I just I like just being obese. Just I've developed so much hatred for my appearance that I kind of see myself as being like in an existential purgatory, almost like in prison. Like, I've got to serve my time as a non-human, and then once I've lost the weight, I can be human again. I can be acceptable both to myself and the world. That's the mentality I've developed. Like, I'm not worthy of existence because I'm just grotesque and unsightly and just in a constant state of embarrassment. That's where I'm at. I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying I want to.
That's many, many thoughts.
Yeah.
So when you are thinking all of these thoughts, can you see how you will never take any action towards really changing your life? You're trying now, but these thoughts are going to be your downfall. They're going to keep you where you're at because you're going to keep beating yourself up over and over and over again. So whenever you have a little bit of success, I bet that you're going to start self-sabotaging. Most people do, but I definitely think that you will. So what I want to do is focus a lot on these thoughts. So let's say let's work with what I was just suggesting. Like, you live your life and then you lose your weight. Can you think differently about that? Like, is there a thought that does not make you feel some sort of self-negativity when I suggest that you do that?
Well, I mean, is there a thought? I mean, yeah. I mean, I wasn't working before, and I got myself a job I really like, and I've put myself out there
Hmm.
um, doing that, and that I chose to do that in spite of being fat. You know, I didn't. I'm up on my feet. There's lots of heavy lifting, lots of interaction with people, and I didn't. Yeah, I didn't talk myself out of doing that. I didn't. It was especially, yeah, it was my dad dying actually was a huge catalyst for um, pushing me forward and giving me a sense of urgency to live my life with more courage, um, because he was, as an entity, his protection, his sort of figurative protection was no longer there. So I had to like take care of myself, and the first thing that activated in me was the desire to work again and to make money and to be financially independent. So I got this job in August of last year, and I like held it down, stuck to it, saved up money, and done certain like responsible things which I hadn't done before. And that's been a positive, that's been a plus. Um,
Cool.
so yeah, working has been a, a bridge between me and the world. And honestly, by and large, I don't think I've had any thoughts while working that if I wasn't obese, I would enjoy this more, or if I wasn't obese, I would be better at this. I have done it confidently, competently. I'm good at it. The company for which I work is happy with me. I'm happy with them. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's been a positive.
So you have evidence for that this is actually working if you're doing it. And still you want to be like, oh, no way. I don't want to put myself out there. And here you are. People are actually commenting here on YouTube. I don't know if you can see it, but this here. Alex, you're on here putting yourself out there. You're already doing it. I mean, you're on a YouTube channel. I know it's not huge, but a few hundred people are watching, or was watching the last episode that we did. So there are people watching you doing this. You're already out there, and you're obese. So what? You couldn't do
No,
this if you were skinny.
I'm not frightened of this. I mean, but I have been frightened of traveling. I have been
Mhm.
apprehensive as I've gotten fatter and fatter. I have become more and more of a recluse, and I have, you know, socialized, you know, gone out there, um, you know, meeting new people, talking to women. Those things have definitely declined as I've gained weight, and yeah, like yeah, just I don't know. I guess I have attached worth and confidence to being in shape. So investing money and time and energy in going traveling, I've always had, I've always come up against this roadblock where I've assumed, and I probably was incorrect. I was probably wrong, but I assumed that like it would be a wasted, um, like it would be a wasted endeavor. There would be folly to go out into the world with this addiction, with the obesity, with all of the unhappiness that it causes me, because I'm traveling and I'm meeting people, but I'm not at my best. I'm like I went traveling before. I went to Berlin, and I had a terrible.
But Alex, so what? So what? Who cares?
Well, I care. Like I observe myself failing at existence.
No, no,
And like
no, no. I'm gonna stop you
like,
there.
no, I'm not speaking present tense. I mean past tense. Like I went to Berlin, and yeah, I had this idea: go to Berlin, travel, have a great time. But half the time I was seeing monuments and meeting people, doing interesting things. But the other half of the time I was in the hostel, just like binge eating Kinder Choco Bonds until I felt like I was going to puke, and then I had to sleep for the rest of the day, and then I missed like I hated that combination of going traveling, which produces all of this expectation for oneself to have a good time and to explore and to and to ride this wonderful sense of adventure. But I saw myself binging in this incredible city with this immense history and culture and all this excitement. And when I came back from Berlin, I told myself, like, oh no, I'm not going to go traveling again until I fixed this problem. I can't stand the sight of myself in a hostel just binge eating on sugar, wasting like entire days. Like, it was half of my trip. Like, half of the trip I could function, and the other half I was an absolute fucking wreck. And I just like, for the last
But
10 years, yeah.
you have expectations on yourself that weren't reasonable at the time. So you're disappointed with what you got because somehow you imagined that I'm going to be able to go there and not binge, even though I'm an addict. That was never going to work.
Well, 10 years ago, I had no concept of myself as an addict. 10
Yeah.
years ago,
And now you're scared of it today because of that. So if you went traveling now, you have me, you're not going to binge. What's the problem?
I don't like my body. I don't like my appearance. I don't like the clothes that I'm forced to wear because of my appearance. And I don't know what it is. I'm just like,
But does that actually matter? You don't like a lot of things about you right now. Does that have to prevent you from traveling and doing
yeah,
enjoyable things?
I think so at the moment, yeah, because like, I need to be close to things that keep me stable. My job is one, my family is one, my friends is one, my access to like high quality meats and knowing where to go for the meat, you know, having my kitchen, having my system for eating the right way. Like, I couldn't, yeah, like right now I'm kind of in the danger zone and I'm going through the worst of it. Like, I wouldn't trust myself. Like, my brain's capacity for rationalization is boundless. So if I went traveling, the first thing that I would say to myself is, well, I'm traveling. So it's not just a vacation from Bristol, it's a vacation from my responsibilities to myself. And,
Or
oh, well, you know, I don't want to miss out on the
it could
cultural
be
or culinary opportunities that present themselves.
it could be an exercise for you. You could see it differently. If you think about you traveling differently, you're going to behave differently. So if you decide I'm going to go travel and I'm going to enjoy doing whatever activities you want to do there, and I'm going to make sure that this works. I'm going to research, I'm going to find places where I can eat or where I can source good meat. I'm going to stay in contact with Pim. I have my exercises, I'm going to do them. If I have cravings, I know exactly what to do. And I'm going to make this work. So it's all about what you are thinking in this situation. Can you see that?
Yeah, I mean, I did start, I did think, you know, I've always wanted to go to the Philippines. They are ruthless, avaricious carnivores. Like, uh, for me, they do this like whole crispy pig called lechon. I've always wanted to eat that. Um, but unfortunately, their president is something of a fuckwit, and he's following the, you know, Klaus Schwab New World Order. I'm just kidding. Tinfoiled hat. No, he's a COVID grifter, fascist, and he's basically ruining tourism for the country, making it completely financially untenable to go there as a tourist.
Okay, but I want to stop you there because
Yeah,
this doesn't matter.
sorry.
This has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, I would like to go to the Philippines, is what I wanted to say. I would like to
Okay.
go, but I can't go yet until they elect him out of office, or he
And now you make
redefines
excuses again for why you can't go right now. And
well,
that's fine. You don't have
no,
to go right now.
oh, come on, come
But it
on.
doesn't matter.
No, I'm not
I
making
want to
this.
focus on you.
Philippines will not permit unvaccinated people into the country. That's not an excuse. I
Okay.
can't go there.
No, okay. Let's
I
stop
would.
there. You can't go there, so you can go somewhere else.
All right, I'll go to Vietnam. They've got lots of crispy pork as well.
Perfect.
All
So
right,
now we have a
eat 'em, mate.
destination.
All right.
You will get to the Philippines at some point. Don't have to go there this year. The problem is your head. Yeah, that
You're
one.
a very stern travel agent.
Yeah. So I want to move back to live life and then lose weight. Because I don't think you gave me a good thought there. We just spun out. Live life first and then lose weight while you're doing that. How could that look?
I know it has to happen. I know it does. Well,
Because what you're doing now is okay, you're working, so that's great, and you like what you do, so you do get out of the house. But what we started this conversation with was basically when you don't have a plan for the day, that's when you're in the danger zone.
yeah.
So if you actually had a life outside going to work, you actually living your life, you're going to pull yourself back from that danger zone. And it's
Okay.
going to make everything much easier.
It's just, when I eat carbohydrates, there are places I go, but yeah, everything socially with friends revolves around eating. I have like a
Hmm.
roulette wheel of friends, and I see different friends on different days of the week, and it's coffee here, cake there, sandwiches here, pasta there, Chinese here. Like it's everything revolves around eating. So by taking carbohydrates out of the picture, I have I've like pulled the rug from out of this social infrastructure, and I need to replace it. I need to I need to find new things to do, and yeah, I need to. I think we've done this before, like last year or the year before. We wrote a list of activities that don't involve eating, and I need to revisit that. I need to think about what I can do that doesn't involve food, and start building those activities habitually. Building a relationship with them.
Yeah, that's a good start. And you also have old relationships that you might want to reinvigorate, like your friend's girlfriend. What you and her would do does not revolve around food. Maybe actually now, when you're in a better place, you can approach her and say, "Hey, I just want to apologize. This is what actually was going on at the time. And I'm very sorry, but at the time I wasn't able to even tell you about it." Then you might be able to go and enjoy some music.
Hmm. Yeah, no, it's true. I do. There's definitely this. I'm definitely hiding from the world, and it definitely it has to do with my appearance. It has to do with not being wanted, not wanting to be seen obese in a public place. It's a huge, um, yeah, it's a hugely, it has been a hugely influential and powerful fear that has controlled my decisions. Um, but it bothers me. It makes me unhappy. I want to go to concerts, to see movies. I want to go to museums. I want to get out there. But like, yeah, I've created this. I've made life conditional upon achieving something that takes a long time, far
Yeah,
too long of an interim for life and enjoyment of life to be suspended.
yeah. But you don't have to continue doing that.
No,
So what are you going to do this week to live your life?
be fucking fat in a museum, I guess.
Okay, deal. Alex is going to be fat in a museum.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
like to,
check you next week.
yeah, I'd like to get out on my rollerblades again as well. The the summer's coming. The streets are dry. I'm starting to lose weight again. Um, Not sure what my energy levels are going to be like until I'm fully fat adapted, but it'd be nice to get out there and have a nice gentle rollerblade.
Yeah,
See
you
what
just
how
cruise
many.
along.
Yeah, yeah. I remember like
Excellent.
yeah.
So
Speaking,
let's work with the. You're gonna go to the museum this week. What's gonna come up for you when you are thinking about that? Do you feel any anxiety or fear of doing that?
no,
Okay, so what was the problem then?
what's the problem?
Why haven't you done it? Because you don't
Well,
feel any fear and anxiety?
because I've been inside. It's in. I've been inside the confines of my safe place. Laptop, sugar. It's just it's not only fear. It's also the severing of my desire. It's it kind of it's the it kind of renders my impulse to go out and experience life. It renders it impotent and
Hmm.
muted.
So what do you think when it's time to go to the museum? Are you gonna feel for doing it? Or are you gonna want to stay in your cage?
No, I'm gonna want to go. I'm gonna contact a suitable chum and go to the museum in Bristol and see what exhibition they have this month that will be ruined by loud screaming children and twats on their mobile phones with no decorum. I mean, people
Okay.
take selfies at Auschwitz. There's just no limit to the phone twattery, but it's okay because at least going to the museum and hating the general public will be better than staying at home in my
Okay,
cage like
that's a
a.
step forward, yes. So what I want you to do this week, I want you to keep writing down all your cravings the way you have. So no cheating there. I also want you to, when it's time to go to the museum, I want you to really explore what's going on in your head right before that, when it's time for you to leave your flat and go. Because I bet that something will come up, and it's most likely not going to be excitement. Like, I'm gonna go to the museum. I think it will be something else. So just don't hide those thoughts. Just kind of explore them, see what's happening in there, because they might be very helpful, helping you getting out of your flat doing other things. If we can draw those out and just kind of pinpoint what's happening underneath, because there will be something there, I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
Will you
Yeah,
remember this?
it's yes, indeed. It's the habit, the psychological trap, the hole which I've dug myself into is that something needs to be in place. That's that's the that's the foundation of it. Like, no, I can't do this thing because some precursor, some prerequisite
Mm. Hmm.
has to be in place. Can't do this, can't do B because I haven't done A. Um, that's the pattern. So I can't go to
Yes.
the museum because I haven't, you know, chapter one of Jordan Pizza. I haven't cleaned my room. Um, so it's part part of the progression, like, is incumbent upon being okay with doing things without these prerequisites, even in a state of chaos. Even if I have to walk away from loose ends, even if I have to walk away from something that's unfinished or unattended to, that I just learn the ability to just walk away from some aspect of my life which I find dissatisfying. That's a huge problem for me. Like, can't do this because this isn't in place. Can't do this because I didn't do this. So I need to learn the ability, to have the freedom to sort of sever that link and just say, yeah, my flat looks like a shit heap, but I'm going to go to the museum anyway.
Yeah. That's where we have to start. Then we can kind of maybe address how you are looking upon yourself and talking about yourself. But that is going to be a lot easier to do if you can do the things as well. Because you're going to notice that it wasn't actually that scary to go to the museum, or doing other things was probably quite enjoyable.
Yes. Culture is enjoyable.
Yeah. Some people think so.
There was a good ancient Egyptian exhibition at Bristol. I wonder if it's still there.
You can check it out.
So that's my homework for the next week, is just to read.
Taking note of your cravings and what will come up for you when it's time to go to the museum. Other things that you can do is just like, if you get an opportunity, obviously take the opportunity, feel the discomfort that comes with that. It's fine to feel insecure, thinking that I'm not worthy of this or whatever it is. It's okay to have those feelings and then do it anyway. None of that has to stop you from doing anything. It's just a feeling in your body. It makes you feel really uncomfortable, but it doesn't stop you from doing something. And usually, if you can allow those feelings to just be there, like with the cravings, they will go away. So it's when we're trying to kind of sweep them under the carpet that they will plop up again and just come back with a vengeance and make you feel really, really bad. But if you can just like, okay, I feel really uncomfortable doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway, eventually that feeling's going to go away. But you don't want to feel that. You are very intolerant to not feeling good. So that's where we have to start with you, just like building up the tolerance for feeling like us without doing something about it. Because you're
Well,
going to feel like us anyway. This is just a different flavor.
yeah, I don't know why it happened, but I avoid situations which could potentially produce a lot of shame, because I do feel shame. Like, it's I feel it coursing through my body. It's almost debilitating. Yeah.
So I think maybe we should address that shame next time. Because that's something that, I think every negative feeling or thought that you've had about yourself is always coming back to the shame.
Well, yeah. I'm ashamed of existing. It's like, it's the bedrock of my neuroses is shame. Like, yeah, just I cannot accept my own existence. My own place in the world. There's the world, and then there's me, and um, and my position to it is like, is uncertain and undefined, and yeah, it's.
But Danielle tells you to go there anyway, with dignity. That's the point. Just accept that you're going to feel uncomfortable and then enjoy doing the thing because you want to do the thing.
I want to do
Yes.
the thing.
I want to hug him too. We all want to hug you. Okay, so we're going to have to stop there because we're up to an hour and Bart's birthday party is starting on his channel, I guess,
Yeah.
at this time. But how's it going with your YouTube channel? Has it started yet?
Conceptually, it's going great.
So there's no material on it yet.
In the metaverse, there is. Yeah.
Right. So if we go to the metaverse, we can follow your channel.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
will ask you again next week, just so you know. So that's, I mean, that's also, you want it to be perfect. Again.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Just get it done.
I need to hurry the fuck up because I've
Yeah,
already
because
lost.
soon you're going to be skinny and then it's too late.
No, it is. It is too late because I've lost the ability to make a video saying it's day 1. I mean, I have to make my first video and say it's day 15 or 6. So yeah, I need to hurry the fuck up.
Yeah.
Or I'll binge and then start again and say, oh, it's day 1.
No. So what time is it now?
It's time to make. No, it's 9:31.
Okay. Get your camera out. Say, it's day 16. This is what's happened so far. And I'm going to start making videos very soon. And then you put it up. I don't care if it's mediocre. Just tell them what's happened so far, what your weight is, what it is that you want to achieve with the channel. Put it up, and then let me know. You get
Okay.
extra homework.
Yeah, I've all the
It
comments.
really isn't. Yeah. And then when you do your next video, you can make it perfect if you want to.
Okay.
This one just has to go up now.
All right.
Because otherwise you'll be like, oh, now it's another day. And another one.
And another one.
Yeah. And then now it's definitely too late. I might just scrap this shit.
No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I will in the next week.
No, today.
Well, I mean,
You're filming it as soon as we get off. You are filming that. It doesn't have to be more than 2 minutes.
okay.
Just your intentions with what you're gonna do. An
Right.
introduction
Okay.
and telling people where you are at.
All right.
Good. I win. Right.
Congrats.
We have to get off then. Thank you,
Thank you.
Alex. We're gonna keep working at this. Thank you, everyone who is here today, all 11 of you that are watching right now, and thank you for your supportive comments. I think Alex appreciates that. Yeah.
I do.
So, see you next week.
Look forward to it. Bye, Pim.